Ciao, buongiorno ragazzi. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Inter Worldwide podcast, looking out to a crowd of favorites. Rivas, don't talk with your mouth full, but thanks for coming on, bro.
Yeah, yo, don't worry, it's not fully full. Hi, Mario.
Mario, Italiano, thanks for coming on, man. How you doing?
Yo, I'm doing all right.
That's
Chilling.
good. That's good. Before we move into what we hope isn't going to be a pessimistic and a negative podcast, obviously this is the first bit of content we're recording after the 2-1 defeat to Juventus, but we'll move into that pretty soon. First of all, I had a couple of questions on Reddit in terms of how we could improve the podcast, and they said let's get to know some of the members a little bit better of the Inter Worldwide brand, which I agree. So, Mario, I'm going to start with you, my friend. First of all, how did you become an Inter fan? And can you tell the fans your connection to Palermo as well?
I became an Inter fan back when they had Ronaldo. I was like, I don't know, 6, 7 years old, whatever it was. My father only had one channel on the TV, and it was Rai. So we used to just watch the soccer games. And, of course, who am I going to watch? Ronaldo, the best freaking player in the world. So I watched him, became my favorite player too. The real one, phenomenal, the fat Ronaldo, of course. So I started watching him. He became my favorite player in 2 seconds, and I was like, all right, I'm an Inter fan now. And since then, it's been a wrap. Palermo, my father's from Palermo, so growing up, he'd always tell me, oh, Palermo, this and that. We're going to go to Serie C next year. We're going to go to Serie B. First time in 36 years, we're going to be in Serie A. It's a miracle. And then went to Palermo for the first time, like in my remembering life. I was like 3 when I went before, and I don't remember shit. So I went there, and everyone was going crazy because they finally went back and said, yeah, I was like, yo, I got to jump on the bandwagon for real this time. So then since then, it's been a wrap. And, it's my claim to fame. Everyone who goes to Palermo becomes an instant superstar once they leave. Ilici, Dybala, Luca Toni, Fabio Grosso, half the freaking Italian national team when they won, Palermo starting players. That's how that happened.
Nice, man. Nice. Christian Rivas, how did you become an Inter fan, brother? And then tell us a little bit about the Inter club that you started in your hometown.
Yo, so I pretty much became an Inter fan because my dope-ass Rodolfo hooked me up with a fucking black and blue jersey when I was a kid. 4 years old, first jersey I ever got was black and blue. Blue was always my favorite color, and that's how I became an Inter fan. Kind of cheesy, but it is what it is. I founded Inter Club DC back in 2014, celebrating 5 years this year. Since I took the time out of my life to organize this, it's kind of been
Thank you for your services.
I got dope guys like Mario Gagliano in there, my boy Will, Alex, Black Guy Tony, let's see, Manny. It's pretty dope. We got like people from almost every single nationality in it. We got a couple Italians, but you got a lot of people from Ghana, El Salvador, Guatemala, even from the Philippines, Korea, Japan, people from Saudi Arabia, Libya.
You started in every country. Keep going.
Syria, no bullshit. Like legit, we got a bunch of dudes from different countries. It's like the DC culture, you know what I mean? DC is just a big melting pot. So it was pretty cool to find all these people.
Even when we went away to the game last year or whatever it was, we had 6 different states with us.
Yeah. We had Missouri, New York, New Jersey, Delaware,
Pennsylvania,
Virginia, Pennsylvania, DC, Maryland. It was a nice mix. That's the one thing I like about my Inter Club is we're fans from all over the world and all over the U.S. I mean, even though I call it Inter Club DC and some of them call it Inter Club DMV because DC, Maryland, Virginia, I look at it as more like Inter Club USA. We're different from the other ones in the U.S. We got people all over the states. We even got a guy in California. And that's literally on the opposite coast.
That's really cool, man. So we had a really good weekend as well here in Sydney. Here's the merchandise here repping the Inter Club in Sydney. We had about 30, 35 people gather for the Juventus game. So it was really good, obviously, at all hours of the morning, but it's still good to see the dedication from the people in Sydney getting up for the Sunday to go and watch the game. All right, time to jump into the slightly get up and leave. Please. But hopefully we're going to check back in soon. But Mario, first of all,
listen, since we're merchandising out there, I got Interclub DC polos, quarter zips, hoodies, all that.
Get you the friend price of $39.99,
Yeah, you know.
I can expect some free stuff in the mail, man. Mario, how did you spend the Juventus game, bro? First of all, what did you think of the
Playing
team?
with himself.
And how do you think you react from it afterwards, man?
I mean, going into the game, I was watching it on my phone at my girlfriend's parents' house, so I was like, half in, half out, trying to get service and bullshit. But the result, if we expected more, you're kind of reaching. Like, as good as we've been, it's still Juventus at the end of the day, and they're gonna find a way to squeak by and get a stupid bullshit win, tie, whatever the hell it is. But I mean, it's still Juve at the end of the day. They're still miles ahead of every other club in Italy, and it's obvious. We're catching up really quickly, but if you're going into a game, Barcelona and then Juventus, and you're expecting 2 wins, you're a fucking idiot. I don't care who you are. Like, you could be the biggest Inter fan in the world. It doesn't mean that we're gonna win the freaking game. I don't even want to get. I'm gonna get started later on that.
All right. We'll talk a little bit about the fans later. Before we do that, Christian Rivas, how did you spend the Juventus game? Where did you watch it? And what was your overall thoughts on the loss, bro?
Hey, Mario knows this. So the way I did it like bootleg radio because I was 30,000 feet in the sky flying back from Orlando. So I bought the Wi-Fi. I couldn't stream, but I went to YouTube and I could get YouTube service. So I literally YouTubed a radio broadcast from it, and I was listening on the radio and in our group chat following the game. When I landed, luckily the second half started, so I watched the whole second half. I mean, like Mario said, dude, you have Barcelona and Juve. We aren't going to win both games. I'm a little more optimistic than Mario in what I saw in the game. Like considering Conte's only had 6 games, I feel we caught up pretty quickly. I wouldn't say we passed them yet because our depth isn't there. And we're not on the same level. We're probably one notch under them right now. Honestly, that game could have gone either way, to be honest. If Sensi didn't get hurt, it could have gone either way. But once Sensi got hurt, you saw the lack of quality and depth in our team. And that's the one thing that I appreciate Sunning and, Marotta saying is that they're going to buy another midfielder in January. Because apparently they see Conte's vision just in the first 5-6 games, and they seen what he can do, and they want to get this man who he wants. And that's pretty dope because I don't think we've really had anybody like that in a long time.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there, man. Speaking of Conte and how you think that the team's going to respond after this, we come back with a tricky away fixture against Sassuolo. We're not really going to preview that because that's a long way away. Anything can happen on international break. But basically, Mario, do you think that Conte will get the team oiled well again, and you think we'll go Sassuolo and see a reaction?
Yeah, I think definitely he'll get the team to bounce back. He's gonna motivate the shit out of them. He's gonna tell them like, hey, we just kept up with 2 of the best teams in the world. We're right there with them. It's a piece of cake from here on out. I mean, we've won the games that we've had to win so far. Those have been a problem. You're gonna drop 6 points with Juve. That's fine. You lose 6 points out of 114, I believe it is, if my math is correct. You do that, you're doing good. You're looking at 95 plus points at least, to end the season. Wow, that math is horrible. No, but you're looking at like 100 points if you win every other game. You know what I'm saying? And then you give a couple points away here and there. You're looking promising. But for Sassuolo, definitely going to bounce back. How long is Sensi out for? Did they say yet, or not really?
That's what we're going to go into next. Christian, do you know anything about the Sensi injury? How long do you think he's going to?
All I heard was that they kept him for an international break, and they're looking at recouping him for the Sassuolo game,
That makes sense.
From what I've heard, I haven't heard anything outside of that. From one of my friends that works over there, he told me he might be okay for the Sassuolo game, but they're being extra careful because we don't have nobody else that can really cover his position. Going back to the Juve game, you bring in Vecino. Vecino is not a creative player. We don't have no creative players on the bench. That's the problem.
Yep.
In terms of the Vecino sub, would you prefer to put him in over Gagliardini though, Christian?
No, it was the right sub. A lot of people giving Vecino grief, but you also got to remember he came into the game. 1, he wasn't expecting to be subbed in. So he wasn't fully warmed up. 2, The game at that point was already at a fast pace. It was already moving. It's a derby. You know what I mean? Like it's a hard fought game, and you're just getting thrown into the mix unprepared. So it was obviously going to take him 10 to 15 minutes to kind of get his legs in and try and get a feel for the match. Anybody that's ever played the game and understands the game could tell you that. You know, I don't get where inner fans sit there and think that a player is just going to jump on the field and automatically make an instant impact without warming up. It doesn't work that way. I'm sorry. It's just, it is what it is. I can't, I'm not mad at Vecino. You know, you're playing two players that play the same exact style in the game when one of them's got to be a creator and he's not a creator. It is what it is.
Yeah,
he did almost score the game tire though, so you got to give him that.
The reflection was crazy. He almost ended up being a hero. Mario, who was your man of the match against Juventus, and who do you think was the worst player on the pitch for Inter against Juventus?
Man of the match, I mean, you have to give it to kind of Lautaro Martinez. He put in his fight. He created the chances. He annoyed the hell out of Juve. He scored his penalty that we earned as a team. So I feel like without a doubt it was him. Otherwise, it was pretty average across the board. It was nothing special. D'Ambrosio did his thing. He had Ronaldo, Dybala, whoever came on his side. What are you gonna do on that one? Two of the best players in the world. Who else? Brozovic. I didn't think he did what we needed to do that game. He just couldn't. He couldn't figure it out. He couldn't get us going. I understand that Juve is Juve, and they pressured the shit out of us. At times, it looked like we were going against Barcelona. How we just couldn't get out of our half. Obviously, once we lost Sensi, there's no coming back from that at that point. There's nobody to replace them. I'm surprised even Borja Valero hasn't been featured this year, to be honest.
That actually probably would have been a better characteristic sub.
Yeah.
Valero probably could have matched, the characteristics that Sensi brought to the table, but whether he would have had the legs for 60 minutes is a different story. Rivas, who was your man of the match against Juventus, and who do you think was the worst performer for Inter?
So I'm going to echo what Mario said, and I'm going to go with Lautaro again as the best player. He was really effective. He made some good runs. He had some good shots. For me, my worst player of the match, man, that's hard. I'm probably going to get some flack for saying this, but for me, it's Bastoni. I'm sorry.
That's primarily because he stepped up just too early. It's just an amateur mistake to let Higuain off like that.
Yeah. And at that point of the game, we were actually in a very good situation, but that wasn't also the only time he made an amateur mistake. Honestly, I get it. Conte's trying to get this kid's head up and everything, and he's trying to get him confident. But I would have brought in someone like Ranocchia in that type of situation for the simple fact that he has leadership skills and he's very experienced. People can sit there and crucify me for what I'm saying, but I would have brought in Ranocchia over fucking Bastoni any day. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm not the coach, so take what I say with a grain of salt. I'm not a coach. I'm not the coach of Inter. At the end of the day, Conte has the last say. I'm not going to sit there and say the dude is wrong because he knows what the fuck he's doing. Hint, Inter fan.
Am I the only person that thinks this, that Skriniar has really underperformed in the three-man defense?
He's definitely looking a little bit shakier, but I think he's been so good the last 2 years. He's stood out so much that now he's just not standing out as much alongside quality. I thought De Vrij was our best defender yesterday by a country mile. I think he's really picked up a lot of form in the last 3 weeks. So thank God we De Vrij because Godin looks like he's going to be the type of player that he's going to come in and out this season. He's not going to string together 4 or 5 games in a row. Not going to happen.
For the record, I don't think Skriniar is doing bad. I think it's mainly, again, like you guys said, he's been so good lately. You expect him to always be good. And I'm not saying he's had bad games because he really hasn't. It's just the simple fact that with this three-man defense that Conte has, a lot of the attacking a lot of the defending and attacks don't come on him as much as before. De Vrij holding down the center of the park, his main job is now to be a distributor outside. That's what Skriniar is doing. He's building up the play. He's still bossing as a center back. He's not bad at all. And it just gives more shine to De Vrij because De Vrij is really holding it down in the middle.
Yeah, here is. Let's talk a little bit about the fans and their reaction to the last couple of the results, especially for the Juventus match. Look, all fans have got different opinions when it comes to tactics, when it comes to approaches to matches and stuff like that. Me personally, I'll get the ball started. I think a lot of fans need to remember where we've been for the last 7 years, basically, especially in the amount of managers that have rotated in and out of our club with different tactical setups and different philosophies. It really hasn't gone anyone's way. And that we have had to some consistency and some leadership and some progression. 6 games out of 6 just doesn't happen, whether it's against Lecce or not. Because at the end of the day, we got points against teams that we didn't get points against last season or the season before against Spalletti. And I think from here on in, it's all about being proactive and reactive. Be proactive to solving some of the problems and react to this result. Don't necessarily need, or I don't know why we see so many fans getting so pessimistic, almost as though this result had any sort of bearing on the final standings of the season. And just before I switch over to the guests, I think this is a nice little reality check for some of the Inter fans who got caught into the Scudetto hype too easily. Mario just said Juventus is still the best team in the country by a mile, and we saw that against us. So the goal for me this season is still the same as it has been from the start, and that's no more match day 38 drama. Let's qualify for the Champions League match day 33, 32, 34, whatever it is, get a comfortable second place finish, and keep building this team. Rivas, what were your thoughts on the fans' reaction afterwards, and what do you think overall?
All right, so I'm not gonna completely agree with you. I still think Scudetto is attainable. You got to
Mm-hmm.
remember, Juve's main goal is going to be champion, so you're going to see them slip up a couple times. Yeah, they didn't slip up against us because they had their eyes on this game. So I still see them slipping up throughout the season and botching up the Scudetto. That's just me. I don't think they win any trophies this season, to be honest with you. They don't convince me still. Uh, Secondly, Inter fans, their ideas of tactics is just off of football managers. They were somebody that's actually coached out there and actually got paid to coach. Half the shit I see you guys say, I'm just sitting there like, in the ideal world, in your ideal world, in your football manager world, it works. But that's not how it works in real life. You got to play players to their strengths. You got to learn their characteristics. Like a lot of people sitting there giving shit to Lukaku. Honestly, in my opinion, Lukaku didn't have that piss poor of a game as they sit there and make it out to seem. They make him out to seem like he was the worst player in the world. No, it seems to me like a couple of fans are still pressed on a certain player that plays in PSG. And in my opinion, Lukaku brings a lot more to the table. He can dribble, he can hold the ball, he can pass better. I mean, his touch is a little off, but if you really look at the numbers, I think Mario sent me a screenshot or some shit like that where he's only really been dispossessed like 1 or 2 times off a bad touch. So it's not completely accurate about his touch being bad. I think was it Manny that said that a lot of people are influenced by the media, Mario, in the group chat, where
Yes.
it was him that like a
Yeah.
lot of people are influenced by social media where Man U fans are, oh, he's trash, he's fat, he's overweight, he has a horrible touch. Yo, in that time I've seen him play, I don't see half the shit they say. So you got to form your own opinion and you got to stop listening to other people. You expect him to sit there and be a goal machine. He's not going to stay in the box and wait for a perfect cross 99% of the time that won't come. He's going to go out there and try and get the ball himself, as you see him do. He drops down deep and he helps defensively. This is my
Yeah, he
personal opinion.
picked up the ball deep a couple of times against Juventus and was actually able to beat a man and play it off. So I think he's just got a lot of nerves about him. The Man United career did absolutely nothing for his confidence. That club's a mess. I mean, look at them at the moment in England. So you can't afford to make a scapegoat for any of those players, especially Romelu Lukaku. Going over to Mario, what was your reaction to the fans afterwards? And can you please tell everybody what player you want to come back that plays for PSG? We all know you missed him a lot.
I'm really hoping the player that comes back from PSG is
Thiago Motta.
Cavani. Yeah, him. Or Cavani.
Ronaldo.
He's not coming back, but he's coming. But no, for real. The fans went back to their typical living under a rock. I'm the smartest person. Look at me. I'm a fucking idiot. They went back to the they went back to the going to be like that. Like they have no freaking idea what's going on. Like They're complaining. They're saying this guy sucks, that guy sucks, this guy sucks, that guy sucks.
Yo,
Why did we sign
Mario,
Vecino? Why did we sign this
did you
guy?
read that one dude that sat there and said that Lukaku is not the right striker for Conte's system? And I'm saying, like, bro, how are you gonna tell Conte who's the right player for his system if this is who he specifically asked for?
He wanted Lukaku from before he even signed for Inter.
He wanted him all the way back to Juve.
No, it's stupid shit like that. And then they're like Christian said in the media, this because before I forget about this, I will. There was a stat in whatever games Nicholas Bentner has played, he scored 28 goals or whatever the hell it was. I think it was 174 games, 28 goals. But Jesse Lingard or Rashford.
No.
Marcus
Rashford. It was Rashford.
Yeah.
They said so Rashford scored less. Rashford scored 27 goals, and the Lord Bentner scored 37 goals in less amount of games. Yeah. And they called Rashford the next prodigy, and Bentner was the Lord.
Yeah, he was he was garbage. He did this, he did that. He sucked. He shouldn't be on the field. But yet, it's like, what are you comparing? You guys are fucking idiots. You know, it's like, yeah, you see one thing. You see Bentner rated 74 on FIFA and Rashford's 82. Big fucking deal.
For the record, Bentner was a GOAT. I had an Arsenal Bentner jersey because I thought he was fucking hilarious.
He was the man.
He subbed in, scored a goal, and got hurt on the celebration.
Yes. That's my man right there.
That's my boy.
And then he went to Juve.
Juve.
No, but like it's stupid shit. Like they say the dumbest things, and you're just like, "Oh, we should bring back Icardi after all this shit he's done. You know, it might be worth it." And Lukaku.
He's only scored one goal at PSG, just to say.
He's only scored one Champions League, one in the league.
Yeah, I think he scored 2, both tap-in.
Yeah, he's stupid bullshit. Like, are they winning games? Did he make a difference? No, they still freaking suck. They're just as bad as they were last year. Oh my, no, but like you can see,
he should be scoring 40, 50 goals in that league against those sort of opponents anyway, man.
It's a freaking charity match over there. Oh my god, it's playing with Serie B over there. Get it.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the January mercato because you know what? For all the positive results, we haven't really had to think about the mercato, which is really good. Inter fans love the mercato. Inter fans are up the mercato's ass before the season ends every single season. We got Rivas agreeing with me left, right, and center. But as Rivas already mentioned, we've got Marotta, Conte, and Zhang all basically in agreement that we are going to sign another top quality midfielder in January. Much needed because we are only we've got a great midfield 3. Fantastic, it's low class, but that's where it ends at the midfield 3. There's no depth. We haven't got the man-for-man substitutions. Rivas, what's on your mind, bro?
Listen, the only part I like about the mercato is that my boy Alex is hitting me up every morning with a good morning text off of, so is this player coming or is that player coming? That's the only thing I like about the mercato. Besides that, it's always, are we signing Messi? Are we signing fucking Rivaldo? Are we signing Mario? Like, I'm not a fan of the mercado. That shit gets annoying after a while.
I don't believe anything until it's official on the website.
It has to happen. In need of a midfielder, so we got to talk about who is going to come. And most likely, the name on everyone's mouth or lips at the moment is Milinkovic-Savic. But for me, I don't necessarily see it happening in January.
It's not going to be him. It's not going to be him. I don't even think we get him in the summer, to be honest.
Who's it going to be?
If I'm the owner of Inter, I'm going to be blunt with you guys, and you guys probably aren't going to agree with me and aren't going to like what I'm going to say, but I would go after a player like Götze.
Yeah.
The reason is because he brings that experience, that veteran leadership, and he doesn't stunt someone like Sensi or Barrella's growth.
But does he bring his own doctor?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, yo, we can send him to a Salvador down on 14th Street if you need. I remember my boy Ruben sent me over to get my knee popped back into place. That dude's the GOAT.
So Götze a free agent, right? He's a free agent.
I would bring in a player like Götze or Royce. If like, you know what I'm saying, you go after a midfielder. What I'm trying to say is you go after a midfielder that's experienced. He's not young, yes, he's old, but he's gonna help groom these younger Italian players, and he's also gonna not take the full shine from them. Yo, you don't. If you get Savage, Savage is gonna dictate minutes, bro. You're not gonna go after Milinkovic Savage and have him on the bench. So you got to remember: are you gonna sacrifice Barella or are you gonna sacrifice Sensi? These are the pillars of your team right now. So you got to be realistic with what you're asking. So what you're gonna do? Go get yourself a player like Götze or Marco Reus that's going on an expiring contract, and is still decent enough player to help to fill in, because who we got now is nowhere near their quality.
Götze is the type of midfielder that can drift up. He's creative and connects the midfield to attack, kind of like Rafinha. It's almost a German version of Rafinha's skill set, which is something the fans have been crying out for since, I don't know, Rafinha didn't get re-signed. So, I think I'm going to have to agree with the Rivas on that. But I haven't seen anything linking the club to Mario Götze. So, but hey, it's Marotta.
We were linked to him in the summer.
Well, a little bit, but nothing recently. But that's Marotta. He doesn't mind working in silence before he gets his shit done.
Well, remember, we were linked to him for the summer transfer window coming up this year that we were trying to get him for free. I'm 99% sure if we're to go up to the club and be like, yo, listen, we're getting him for free anyways in 6 months. How about we toss you 5 million euros and call it a fucking day? At least you're coming up.
That's it.
Yeah, well, that would be great. Mario, over to you. The other names that are thrown around a bit are the double Barcelona pair, Arturo Vidal and Rakitic, and also possibly Marco Verratti from PSG. Any of these three names do you like, and who else?
Of those three, I like Verratti solely for the fact that Conte might be able to lure him in. I'm just looking at other players that could come over on the Bossman. Christian Eriksen.
Whoa.
Shot in the dark.
Time.
Shot in the dark. It's a long shot. I'm not gonna say. That's not something that I get my hopes up. But I think for me, the first time I saw him play, like 5-6 years ago, I said this guy's gonna go to Barcelona. So that's my thing with him. But he's possible. You have players like Willian also. I think Conte might even try to go for Matic.
My only thing about those first three players you mentioned there, Anthony, is again, these are players that are gonna dictate starting positions.
Yeah.
So who are you gonna sacrifice?
Well, who else besides Götze can you bring in that won't dictate minutes and that's happy to make you maybe play every second or third game from the field and every other game from the bench?
Marco Reus. Because I'm gonna tell you now, Vidal ain't gonna play that shit.
No.
Fucking Rakitic ain't gonna play that shit. No. Verratti sure as hell ain't gonna play that shit.
Well, Verratti,
I'm not gonna play that shit. I'm not gonna stunt fucking none of these young guys' growth. Brozovic is still coming into his own. He's been getting better. I'm not gonna stunt fucking Barella or Sensi's growth. I'm gonna go after a player like Götze. Like I said, if it happens, call me a fucking genius. But that's the type of player you go after. You don't go after one of these established stars that's gonna dictate and want those minutes, and that's gonna throw a bitch fit in the media if they don't get the minutes. If they're splitting time with any of these two youngsters, they're gonna throw a bitch fit and they're gonna say, I deserve more time. I'm a world-class player. I came from Barcelona. And then you're going to have these other fans out there who think they're football managers talking about why aren't these players starting, blah, 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 blah.
Out of our three midfielders that we have at the moment, Brozovic, Barella, and Sensi, do you think any of the three would be happy to maybe shift some of their playing time for a player like SMS?
No.
They're not going to be happy. They're not going to be happy, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't matter if they're going to be happy. If you find the established player who's going to take you to the next level, it doesn't even matter about the player's growth. This is Inter. They don't care to grow people.
That's true, but you also got to look at it right now. These three players we got right now are pretty much the pillars of that midfield. Whether people like it or not, they held their own against Barcelona. I know people were complaining about Brozovic in that Barca game. In my opinion, he was the third best player. A lot of his off-the-ball movements, closing up the gaps, intercepting balls, and cutting the passing lanes were fucking critical. That game could have easily swung in our favor if somebody would have fucking finished their chances.
That's true. Also, I just didn't like how deep he was receiving the ball, although he had to because there was so much pressure.
He had no choice.
He had to. But at the same time, it's like he gets that ball, he turns, and then it's just like he has to just get rid of it, spread it as fast as he can, And then it's just like after that, it's a crapshoot. Asamoah either goes or he loses the ball. If he finds a center mid, it had to be Sensi. Otherwise, who's in Barella was in the middle with them. Barella's not going to get you that one touch and play forward in the creative kind of sense, but he's going to do something. It's just not going to be the best case scenario right away.
If we're talking tactically, the way Conte was playing Brozovic was a smart way, though. Honestly,
it's the only way.
He played him deep for a reason. We needed him to play deep because he had to shield the defense from the fucking Barcelona attack. We know when you're playing Barcelona, you're going to defend with 10. And the reason is you're going to have to play those swift counters because they're going to hold the ball the whole fucking game. That's what they do. I had possession.
Yeah. So easy to lose context after these results, but looking at it from a tactical point of view, it's very, very refreshing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think Brozovic was that bad. I'll say against the Juve game, I didn't like how many missed passes he had.
Yeah,
and he had a couple mistakes. But if I'm looking at the bigger scheme of things as well, this guy has played 90 minutes almost every single game we've had this season.
They have a quality press. It's not like Juve are going to be pushovers. They press hard, and they got a pretty quick attack to press with it.
Yep.
You played against Ronaldo and Messi. What do you freaking expect?
Yeah, and there were 2-1 results. It's not like we got blown out 3-1.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, Messi turned up 10 minutes. He killed us for 10 minutes. The other 80 minutes, I had him in his pocket.
I'm going to move on a little bit here away from some of the Inter stuff before we finish. We're going to go into some of the questions from 3 different fans. And the first one's a really good one. It goes, you guys don't talk about the internationals at all. What do you guys think of the new look Azzurri? Can you give a prediction for their upcoming 2 fixtures against Greece and Liechtenstein? I'll go first. I'm very happy with the new look Azzurri. I think Mancini's got them playing them very well. They're 6 wins out of 6. The closest competition to them, I believe, is Finland behind them. But, they're going to qualify, in my opinion, comfortably for the Euro. And, hey, Italy really needed this. And I don't mean just qualify for the Euro. I mean, put your goddamn foot down, win some games comfortably, and qualify for the major tournament as one of the front runners. We needed this because even in the past, and I'm even talking the team that won the 2006 World Cup, they still limped through qualifying on 0-1 wins against teams like Malta, Luxembourg. Italy has never, ever played well on an international level against smaller nations. So to get Mancini, to get this fresh, young team compiled with a few Inter players in there playing really well, I love it. I think we roll Greece and Liechtenstein over to get 6 points and wrap up qualification. Rivas, your thoughts on the new look Azzurri, because I know you're a fan anyway.
Oh, man. So, Mario, you know this. I've said this for years, that Mancini needed to be appointed the head coach of Nazionale because he was going to sit there and revolutionize the team. I've been saying it for years. He gets it. His ideology, and I said as soon as he got hired, he's going to win us the Euros and he's going to get us to at least the semifinals in the World Cup. I'm calling we're going to win it all, and that's not just as a fan, but Mancini's a hell of a fucking coach, dude. In my opinion, he's really underappreciated and undervalued by Inter fans. If you see what he's doing for the Nazionale right now, he's building the league in itself as well using these youngsters. So he's working with the youngsters. He's helping bring back Serie A. And he's just a fucking amazing coach. I don't care. That's still probably my all-time favorite coach in history. I don't give a fuck what anyone's gonna say about it. He's my all-time favorite coach in history. The man's a fucking genius. I remember when he came to the U.S. and I got to talk to him, he was one of the dopest dudes out there.
Very nice, man. Mario, wait, before you go, Rivas, do you think we roll over Greece and Liechtenstein easy?
I'm sorry, Mario, but we're gonna fuck Greece up, bro. He's half Greek, you know.
Yeah, I know he's half Greek. Mario, what are your thoughts on the new look Azzurri, man? And do you think they're going to get 6 points and wrap up Euro qualification early?
They're going to get 6 points easy. Liechtenstein, one of my favorite countries in the world. I have a...
No, he's gone, for real. Like,
I've been there. I have a Vaduz jersey. I'm
set. It's beautiful.
It's one of my favorite places. It's beautiful. They got the beaches. They got the sea breeze. They got everything there.
No bullshit. He's gone.
Swear.
I remember when he went. He was sending me pictures. It was actually a really nice country.
I love it. I love it there. All 50 miles of it. No, but it's gonna be easy. Greece, they're fucking retards.
What?
They don't know their ass from their elbow. These people.
They got nothing at the moment, man.
They got nothing. And to go off of Christian's point from before, Mancini, there's two types of coaches the way I see it. There's smart coaches like Conte that'll beat you with tactics, motivation, and all that bullshit. And there's coaches that'll just put their best players, choose the best players, and it's just gonna work out because you got your best 11 out there, you got your reserves, your subs, and they're all gonna do the job. Mancini, even from the time it ain't that 1-0, 2-1, ugly, stupid, shitty wins.
Again,
Why?
with
Because
the team that should have not finished in fourth. Like, yo, that team overachieved, and people don't get it. That fourth place team finished in ninth place the following year.
so we had that was the first time we had first place for the whole first half of the season, and then of course it broke down eventually, but at the same time it's
five rounds without a loss.
Yeah,
five straight wins.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he puts the best players out there, regardless of whatever the fuck people want to do. People like, he doesn't change the subject, the formation, he doesn't change the players, he doesn't change anything, he doesn't care, he doesn't want to win. It's like, yo, he's beating everybody, regardless. It doesn't matter.
You remember that year? That year, he even said it too, because everybody was saying, "Oh, Scudetto this, Scudetto that." He was like, "We don't got a team for Scudetto." He's like, "We got a team for fourth place."
No.
He was like, "And that's if I work hard at it." He was like, "If you get me a Banega in January," he said, "if you get me Banega, I will guarantee you third place." Yeah. He's like, "Without Banega, I'll get you fourth," and that's me really like pressing, because that team should have not finished in fourth. If you look at it, bro, we finished the season with not a single creative midfielder. Not a single creative midfielder. Fucking Melo, Gary Medel, fucking Kondogbia,
beast, just guys who work hard.
Who else was there?
Nobody.
We had a bunch of fucking scrubs that all played defensive or holding midfield. They were all fucking registas, and the only attacking mid we had was Guarin, and we sold him to fucking China.
Oh my god!
Remember that shit?
Oh man! All right, moving on to another couple of questions. They're good ones as well. Daniel from Perth, shout out to the far west, Western Australia. Gabigol's value is back up. Do we sell him or not, considering he's now a Brazilian international player? That's a good question. It was really good to see him get a call up because he's scoring really, really well in Brazil. But that's a completely different league on a completely different setup. It is almost the polar opposite to Italian football. If you are going to succeed in Brazil, just forget about it. It's like studying for a Spanish. It's like studying Chinese for a Spanish test. It's not going to happen. Me personally, I'd cash in now while the stock price is high, while he's playing for the Brazilian national team, but the boys might disagree. So Mario, for me, anything 25 plus, take it and go, bro.
I've been on the fence with this one because at the same time, yes, we should cash in because we don't know if he comes back and he adapts, or if Conte even wants him, because he's a liability on the field. Sure, he'll score goals, but this is Brazil. It's not. You're not playing in Serie B. You're not playing in Serie C. You're not playing, like France.
He is balling in the Copa Libertadores.
He's balling. That's the thing. If he's scoring,
it's not just Brazil. Let's get that straight.
Play. If you're a bowler, you're a bowler, and that's where the other side comes in. I'm like, he's scoring, he's playing, he's on top of his game. So I mean, it could be worth a chance. You take maybe like a 15 million cut at the end of the day if it doesn't work out. But at the same time, it's like he could score you 20 goals a year, or he could, score you 20 goals in the reserves.
In contest, when we got Adriano, we loaned him out to fucking Parma.
Yeah.
Where would Gabigol play under Conte, though, under that system? He doesn't really fit in unless a second striker. That's about it.
I think he does fit.
No. He does fit. He will play Lukaku's position. If you want to be real with it, he is more of your primary striker. And when we got him, we were playing him as a winger and not as a striker, because we had a certain number 9 that was a diva and felt that nobody else should get the limelight but him.
He didn't even play Gabigol as a winger. He came on for like 6 minutes, 7-minute cameos. It wasn't for us,
No, but
Listen.
like what I wanted to say was, if you watch all his goals, poacher goals.
Yep.
Not nothing
Yep.
special. Not he's not gonna go and but at the same time as a poacher, he has everything
He
that
can
kind of
dribble.
needed. Exactly. He can dribble, he can take on the defender,
He can
he
do
can win
more than
headers,
McCartney.
he moves off the ball, I'd say above average for my liking, but at the same time it's like if you have a guy that can just score goals, left foot, right foot, head, whatever, it's
Need him.
it's you can put him in for as a super sub even. Start him out as that for Lukaku when Lukaku is tired, not producing, whatever the case is. You throw him in, he changes the pace of the game because even though he scores poacher goals,
fucking love Mario.
he can do a lot of other things that with Lautaro Martinez, the way they would move off each other, it could be second to none. Because they have that South American connection where they just want to ball out. And it doesn't matter who's with him. If he's playing on the right, Lautaro on the left, he's playing up top, Lautaro behind him, they'll find a way to make it work because at the end of the day, they're just ballers and they'll make it work.
So my personal opinion, if it ain't 30 mil, I'd bring him back to Inter, see what he could do. Let Conte have a try at it because Spalletti just had him thrown on his lap. Pioli didn't want anything to do with him. Frank de Boer fucking shunned him out from the moment he got there because he was like, that's who Mancini wanted. Oh, shit, my bad. He was like, that's who Mancini wanted, not me. Mancini was the one that picked him, and Frank de Boer got him thrown on. Actually, Mancini didn't pick him. Mancini picked Gabriel Jesus, but he settled for Gabigol because he needed another player, and then he got sacked.
He was promising.
So, yeah, Frank de Boer didn't want nothing to do with him and shafted him from the moment he got there. And he even sat there and ridiculed him in the media.
Oh, last question. With the current appearances of Alexis Sanchez off the bench, who would you guys call your best substitute or bench player for Inter that you've ever seen? Travis 11 for that question. There's been a few good super subs, boys. A few good players who basically had their spot permanently on the bench. I loved in high school watching Julio Cruz come off the bench. I thought he was the most reliable off the bench player that we've ever had, and he was awesome. One other player that made a fair few cameos off the bench for us for about 2 seasons, and I think I used him on FIFA more than we ever used him in real life, was Jimenez. I actually rated Jimenez's appearances off the bench as well. I think he was a Ricky Alvarez who actually knew how to play football. He got himself.
Man, hold on. I like Ricky. He was just here during a bad time. Give Ricky Alvarez some credit. He was there for a fucked up ass inning.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one, man. Anyway, boys, your favorite.
Do you want to say Ruben Botta too? You want to go to Ruben Botta too?
Nah, that nigga sucks.
Oh yeah. Now the story changes.
Mario, who's your favorite substitute?
Was Recoba a sub?
He was a lot of the time, man. A lot of the time.
Recoba.
Oh yeah, Recoba was a sub.
Yeah, Recoba was a sub mostly. Him, and then this is like my all-time favorite, Quaresma.
I was so G when we signed him, man. I thought, yes, I can't believe it. He's Portuguese.
No, what? Time out.
From the Portuguese league, and he just flopped bad. The only good thing he did is he got a deflection off Catania. He went to put a cross in, and it shanked off the defender.
That was his shot. Then they're deflected off of nobody. He scored that one himself.
No, hold up. Anthony, don't fall for this shit. He's sucking you in right now.
No,
Mario's obsession with charisma has been going on for almost, I would say 5 or 6 years I've known Mario. It's always been charisma this, charisma that.
Where is he now?
Wearing Inter jersey, charisma.
Listen. He won us the Champions League. I don't care what anybody says. He won us the Champions League. He won with Porto.
Right.
He won with Did he win with Barcelona too?
I don't know.
I don't think so, but he's a proven champion. That's what we needed. He gave the experience. He taught the young guys how to play. He taught Ibrahimovic everything he knows, and that's all I need to tell you.
First of all, Bentner taught Ibra everything. Let's get that straight.
Oh, Papa.
Pandev, I think Pandev is another good mention off the bench, even though he actually did make a few starts for Jose. But hey, good player. Rivas, who's your favorite substitute?
Yeah, you already said it. Fucking Julio Cruz. That was my boy.
Yeah.
That was my boy. But also, I don't consider Alexis a super sub. I think it's only a amount of time until he starts starting permanently.
Yeah.
Before we finish, the latest headline this morning is that Manchester United have actually finally attached the price tag to the redemption fee, and it's 25 million. So the finishing question for today's Interworldwide podcast: for 25 million, Mario, yes or no to Alexis Sanchez?
Yes.
Rivas, yes or no for 25 mil?
I'd do it for 30.
I'd do it for 25 as well, man. That's 3 yeses, to be
I
honest.
think we could even more than that.
Yeah, I reckon.
I know, it's a miracle, right? We're not broke anymore.
Nah,
We got money.
Get that China money. We are so rich.
Further for sure. All right, guys. Unless I've forgotten something, which I don't think I have, thank you very much to my special guest, Mario.
Wait. We forgot something. That new Italy third kit is fire.
We're all going to end up getting one, aren't we? We're all going to end up.
I already ordered my fucking quarter zip. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, Quaresma 77 on the back. You already know.
Nice. Did you get name and numbers or no personalization on this one?
I do.
Quaresma.
What'd you get?
I probably get. Well, our third kit isn't on sale yet in the U.S., but I want to get Sensi on it.
Yo, I heard Icardi FC is gonna get Icardi on the Italy jersey.
Yo, Mario, get to work. Get to work.
All right, yo, that's where I'm gonna call it. From everyone here at Interworldwide, ciao ragazzi. Speak to you soon.